Oh, looks like we're back to talking about bad stuff. Hi there, I'm Max King. Welcome back to another episode of From the Archive. Today we're talking about Life of the Party. So, Life of the Party was directed by Ben Falcone. It stars his wife, Melissa McCarthy. It was also written by Ben Falcone and Melissa McCarthy. And the film was released back on May 11th, 2018, Mother's Day weekend, which is why the movie made $65.9 million on a budget of $30 million. It was marketed as a movie that you could take your mother to see. Oh, great. Did not do well with critics at all. They felt that the comedy didn't work and that the film was just there to give Melissa McCarthy another vehicle to show off her talent. What do I think? Well, I think that's pretty darn obvious, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about the story. So the story follows this mother, played by Melissa McCarthy, who, not long after dropping off her daughter, played by Molly Gordon, is literally divorced by her husband, played by Matt Walsh, and basically she feels like her life is over. She has no degree, she has no source of income, so she decides to go back to college and finish up her degree. What follows is the stalest, boringest comedy I have seen in quite some time. So, you want to know how a movie won't work? Is when you don't give it any conflict. So, there are several things that this character has to face in this story that she overcomes almost immediately. The first thing, her daughter feels awkward that they're sharing the same college. They get over that in like 20 minutes. So that's not the main conflict. Then she has to deal with the fact that she's dating a younger dude who's half her age but is still a consenting adult. So yeah, it's not even treated all that creepily because they both really like each other. So that's not as much of a conflict as it should be. Then there's the whole, she's cut off from her husband's money, so she can't finish college even though she's almost done by the sounds of it. Which, yeah, this movie moves pretty quickly. Like, apparently a full year passes in the span of, 18 minutes in this movie, and we're not even shown the passage of time. She just kind of gets into college, few scenes in college, a few parties, and then, yeah, that's her senior year at college, apparently. Whatever. Anyway, so they decide to conquer that one with throwing a party, because of course they do. Like I said, all of these conflicts are brought up and then almost immediately resolved. So, what's the point of this film? Well, the point of this film is to show off Melissa McCarthy doing her shtick. Problem is that shtick is funny for about 5 minutes, but unless you're backing it up with something, it just kind of feels like it continues to go on. There are a lot of jokes in this movie that land and then get ruined because they don't stop. They just continue to try to roll with the joke until the joke is dead. The story does not work in any level for that reason. There is nothing going on in this film that feels real or feels relatable. And this is about a woman going back to college and trying to, better herself. So you would think that there'd be something relatable here. There's just nothing here that really works, in my opinion. Like I said, she faces no adversity. We've seen comedies like this, and we know they can work, but there's just nothing going on here that's funny and or interesting. It's just a bunch of one-note jokes that are told to death throughout the run of the film. Then you have the characters, and none of them are interesting. None of them are developed all that well. The husband character is kind of portrayed as an asshole, even though we know nothing about their relationship. We don't even know anything about these two before they are broken up, and it doesn't make any sense. It makes us feel nothing for the character's relationship. We don't even know if we're supposed to care if these two are divorced. We have no idea what's going on in their relationship. So it feels like the movie wants us to hate this guy, but we don't know his story or why he felt like he wanted to leave her. We really don't know anything about them. And that is the problem for most of the film. There is not a single character we learn anything about that is interesting. And our main character even is just one note and one dimensional. There is no character development that works in this film on any level. The performances are all fine for the most part. Melissa McCarthy is funny occasionally, and the film does show off what she can do. The only problem is unless she's backed up by a decent ensemble cast, she's not really all that interesting on screen. I really enjoy her overall as an actress, but I really couldn't care less for her in this movie. Everyone else, I felt like around her was doing a slightly better job of delivering the bland comedy that the script was trying to give us. Her best friends, played by Maya Rudolph, and I feel like they together have some of the best scenes in the movie. But when Melissa McCarthy's on her own trying to make us laugh, it doesn't always work, and it just feels like she's just driving the jokes right into the ground, and I really couldn't have cared less for her in this movie. And then you have the visuals, and yeah, there's really nothing interesting to talk about as far as that's concerned. The film doesn't have any interesting visuals. There's really nothing going on here that you haven't seen in a billion other movies. The music, which is done by Phil Eichler, isn't really much to talk about because it's just a bunch of songs from like popular consciousness, and it doesn't work at all because it just makes the film feel bland and boring as it really is. Overall, Life of the Party is a waste of time. There is nothing here that you can't find in another film like this. There is no adversity that the characters face. There is no reason for us to care about the characters, and the performances are just not there. So at the end of the day, Life of the Party is a skip. Even if it wasn't bad, there is nothing on the Blu-ray that is interesting to talk about either. There's really just a bunch of outtakes. I really did not enjoy this one. Hopefully next week we find something more enjoyable as we take a look at Tales from Earthsea. See you then.